Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are you?
I am fine. I am very fine. I am glad to see you. It's interesting for me. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's good
Um,
that we
I'm very
can
happy to see you too.
record interviews from almost anywhere in the world. I am from Ukraine. You are from South Africa. I appreciate it. It's a really good time.
I also do appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Um,
Let's enjoy this interview. You can say whatever you think. It's good time. And now I'm introduce you to our esteemed audience. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Boxing on Sundays. Today we are joined by a fighter who is preparing to make the biggest step of his boxing journey. With an amateur record of 9 wins and 3 losses in 12 fights, he is already shared the ring with talented opponents and gained valuable experience that is helping shape his future. Also, he isn't on box rack yet. That is expected to change very soon, as he is preparing for his professional debut, which he hopes will take place this August. Hungry, motivated, and ready for the next chapter. He is determined to make an impact in these professional ranks. Please welcome South African boxer Kid Nqobizitha Sithole. You are welcome, my friend.
thank you for having me. How are you doing yourself?
What
Yeah, I
first,
said,
what first
you said,
inspired you to step into a boxing gym?
for me to step into a boxing ring, I can't say nothing in particular, but I can say boxing is a heritage sport in my family. It was passed on from my grandfather as I had to my uncle, and I'm also doing it. Um, it's an honor to be on your channel today. Uh, yeah, that is me at the moment.
When did you realize boxing was something you wanted to pursue seriously?
Um, I think I did at some point because at school I was into like street fighting. I used to be in a lot of fights at school with just students and other people. And I started boxing in 2020 at a gym called Fight Inside in Hebron, Pakistan actually. I think you've interviewed two or three of the guys from Fight Inside, Stefan and Emmanuel, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I started boxing there, and then I fell in love with the sport. And then later on last year, decided that this year I'm looking forward to step forward, to take a further step forward into the professional ranks. And yeah, I've been waiting since February till now to get a pro debut, and the opportunity presented itself. So I had to take it with both hands and see where it was gonna take me. So yeah.
An amateur record of 9 wins and 3 losses show that you have already experienced both success and adversity. Every fight teaches lessons that can't be learned anywhere else. Those experiences are extremely valuable for a young fighter. What was the biggest lesson you learned from your amateur career?
The biggest lesson that I said I learned from my amateur career is never underestimate rematches and never like take your opponents lightly because The minute you think that you can beat that person, but the game was already changed. Because I learned it on my first ever rematch. I fought this other guy, I beat him, and yeah, the second match, I thought, okay, you know what? In the rematch, yeah, I'm gonna win, obviously, because I already beat him the first time. But when it came back, the results went in another direction, and it didn't go my way. That's when I started realizing, like, you should never underestimate your opponents, and you should never, what can I say? You should never like downgrade someone just because you once beat them and you think that you can beat them again in the rematch. They went home and they went to their gym and they improved a lot of things in their boxing. They went and rewatched the match. While I was busy, comfortable in my own comfort zone, saying, you know what, let me just relax. Whenever this thing is gonna come, I'm gonna redo it. I'm gonna beat him again. Was in so in whatsoever direction. But they went home, they went and prepared and they got that consciousness of saying, you know what, this time I already know my mistakes and I now know his mistakes. So they were ready to capitalize on my mistakes and then while they're fixing their own mistakes at the same time. So um, I can say that rematch made me realize that, okay, not every opponent you should take lightly just because of their record and of what they do because a record in boxing doesn't mean anything. A person can have a bad record, but is a good boxer. He can be that boxer that can defeat you at that moment. So just because a person is having a bad record, that's one thing that I'm going to take into the process as well. Just because a person has a bad record, maybe he has a lot of losses apart from his wins, doesn't mean that he's a bad boxer. He's a very good boxer, just that maybe the decisions were not going his direction or his way. So I'm willing to take a step forward into that and then see how way and how it's gonna take me. Cause yeah,
Absolutely. You are right. You are a very good boxer. I agree with you. What do you remember most about your amateur debut?
only thing that I remember from my amateur debut is that um I had I had anxiety like to step into the ring. The adrenaline was there that okay, I'm finally gonna step into the ring and everything, but I also had doubts in myself, thinking that I wasn't gonna make it. And you see that thing, maybe let's say your teammates are playing around with you, they say, nah, you're gonna when you get there, you're gonna feel maybe in Zulu we call it uvalo. You're gonna feel the maybe what you call the nerves first, like before you when you enter, but once you just throw the first punch or once you just throw a punch, everything just relaxes. And yeah, I just got in there. The first thing I had to do when I threw my jab, the nerves and the body, everything relaxed. When it relaxed, and then I just remembered one thing like in the amateurs here in SA, the one who's moving forward is the one winning the fight. So I had to be moving forward, throwing punches and everything. You know, when I came out after they announced the results, I was happy because it went my way and everything. So yeah, it was a very good experience for my first fight. And that's one moment that I would also love to relive. Maybe as I'm about to go relive it in the pros with the 8-ounce gloves. Slightly nervous because those gloves are small and yeah, but that's all I can say I remember about my first fight.
Wow, your story is very, very interesting. Winning is always special, especially early in a fighter's career. Those victories build confidence and prove that the hard work is paying off. Many fighters still remember their first win years later. You are a very hard working person. And which amateur victory means the most to you and why?
Um, The only amateur victory that I can say means the most to me is when I fought a guy named Jason. Very first time when I fought him, he was undefeated, and he was a boy. He was like, I think he was 17 and I was 18 at that time. I was turning 18. So when I fought him for the first time, he was undefeated. He was not in a stable position. I had like two wins at that point and three losses. And I can say mostly like my teammates doubted me because they know that the boy had skill and whatsoever. But there was only one person only, and I can't forget that moment and that day. What he told me is like, no, screw everybody that does not believe in you in the moment. You just go in there to do it for yourself, and you go in there to kick it. And I purely respect those words that I got from Moses. And he was the one who prepared me through the whole fight, before the fight warm up session and everything, the relaxation. And then he gave me combos. He told me something that I had to do like in the fights within that moment because I just learned it like I can say 30 minutes before the fight. And then he taught me that, and then I did in the fight, and then I won. And that's where my respect went for him. And if he's gonna be watching this, shout out to him. I seriously respect him for that. And from there, yeah, that's the only fight that I can say was very like interesting for me. It took me and built me into a better person, into a listening boxer, into a hardworking boxer, a boxer that does not, what do you call this, underestimate other boxers also. And yeah,
Three defeats are not a sentence. You didn't break. A lot breaks after defeats. You are mentally strong. What did your three losses teach you about yourself?
my three losses. The first one taught me to compose myself, not to underestimate anyone. To continue working as hard as I work, because that was my first loss. And not to be overconfident with myself in that loss. The second loss, it taught me how to, I can say, you know, not to underestimate a boxer or a rematch in whatsoever way, because once you do underestimate it and then the decision doesn't go your way, you end up cursing boxing, you end up rethinking boxing. You say, well, is this sport really meant for me, or am I just playing around with myself or lying to myself at this point? And then the third loss, that was my last loss, actually taught me that boxing is no shortcuts, no excuses. If you lost, you lost. And when we also look at it, if the decision, if both fighters were good at the moment and then the other one came out better than the other, it shows that I have to go work more so that maybe that decision doesn't get close to a point where I do not end up getting the same results. I'm not a fighter that looks for knockouts. Um, I'm just a guy that wants to like outbox, cleanly outbox opponent. I believe that a knockout comes in due time. You feel me? So maybe let's say a knockout is just a bonus. Knockout, TKO, or RIC, those are just a bonus for me. My main objective in boxing is to show everybody that I'm a cleaner fighter. I'm a better boxer than my opponent can ever be. Um, in the future, I don't want to be like Floyd Mayweather or anybody. I just want people to, when they're looking at me, they're like, even the younger generation, they just have to be like, one day I want to be like Keith. Because everybody these days, they want to say, yeah, I want to make it in boxing. I want to be like Floyd Mayweather with all the money and everything. But they don't know that type of thing comes with sacrifices, hard work at the gym and everything. Some are like, oh, since I'm a southpaw, I want to be like Shakur Stevenson and everything, like the high fight IQ rate, the range, and all those type of things. They don't know what Shakur had to build up and what built Shakur to be him. So I'm not looking forward to be any fighter. I just want to be Keith, but I'm willing to learn from every fighter and from every mistake that I make, even regardless from a win or a loss. I'm willing to learn.
Every boxer remembers the sparring sessions that taught them important lessons. Sometimes those experiences can be just as valuable as actual fights. They often reveal strengths and weaknesses that need attention. This is very interesting. Talk about your sparring. What was the toughest sparring session you have ever had?
The toughest sparring session that I can't say I've ever had that I struggle to like process in my head is every time I spar Moses. He's a good boxer. He throws a lot of volume punches. That makes it very difficult for me to study and everything because he just throws and I'm a counter puncher. I love counter punching people. If it reaches to a state where I can't counter
My
punch and then,
friend, over
yeah,
camera, please.
okay.
Oh, great.
When it reaches to a stage or point where I can't like counter punch and the person is just throwing endlessly, like I kind of say my brain switches off, but it doesn't switch it off. Um, it also goes with I'm an angle fighter. I love using angles, and if the person can cut those angles on my side, it doesn't only like pressure me, but it kind of makes me say, you know what, now I have to make up a new plan. So in that very same moment, something else has to come up in the brain. I have to make up a new plan onto how can what can I say? How can I overcome the situation? And that plan comes, I have to be looking at the moment. The minute they are cutting those angles, like they not making me do my angles and everything, um, it makes me like now look at their mistakes. What are they doing wrong when they're making me cut those angles? What mistake are they making when they're throwing this type of punch? And then I start countering from that because most people when they're throwing, most people they jump in like when they're fighting, they just jump in. They don't throw exactly. They just throw to like when they're throwing a 1-2, they just move their whole body coming to you. And then the only thing that I can do at that point, I'm like, okay, even though I'm being pressured, let me count out this punch and then I move out. And then that's what I do, and everything just slides and glides off smoothly from there.
You deserve respect. You are doing a great job. You are the future of boxing. And many fighters have pre-fight rituals that help them focus and prepare mentally. Some listen to music, others pray or spend time alone with their thoughts. These habits often become an important part of fight night. My friend, do you have any special pre-fight rituals or routines?
Yeah, I do. Pre-fight before I step into the ring, I praise the Lord, my Almighty, for bringing me into that day. He's number one in my life. I put him first. So I praise him for bringing me into that day and into the ring. And I ask for his guidance and protection so that nothing happens to me while I'm in the ring or outside the ring. And then, yeah, I do listen to some music just to cool down and get myself into that fight mode. And then when I step into the ring, I do pray again for the Lord's guidance so that everything just runs off smoothly, no interruptions, no injuries, and the Lord to protect me, not just me, me and my opponent, so that nobody gets hurt in whatsoever way because we all want to see each other at the top one day. We all want to see each other driving those expensive cars, see each other like, you know, doing well for our families and everything. So those are my pre-fight rituals and post-fight rituals. Even after the fight, I do thank the Lord for everything. So I can say he comes first before all those type of things that can be done by fights are listening to music, bragging that they're gonna win. Everything like the win and everything all goes with God. I I do determine the win with my performance, but if it's not my day, it's not my day. The Lord had His way, or He had something to teach me for that day. But that's the day where I lost and everything. So yeah.
How would you describe your boxing style?
Um, I describe my style as technical and a bit explosive, and you know angles and a little bit of pressure when I want to, when I see, okay, here I'm losing. That's where the pressure comes in. But my type of pressure sometimes comes with a lot of mistakes. So I try to put that or sideline it aside. So I rather not make the fight close or anything. So I prefer, I can say I'm a technical and well disciplined and angry fighter. I do not let any mistake slip away. But even if there is a mistake that I did and then I got caught, I make sure that I let you receive the same damage I did, but double or triple the damage.
Do you like the Philadelphia stand? The work of shoulder roll?
Mm. I'll say none. I'll say none because um, I do not imitate bad habits. I only imitate good habits. And I'll say the Philly shell is kind of a bad habit because during the whole fight you wanna just do it and you're not throwing as much. You're just expecting to counter and try to make the other guy how do you call this miss and make him look like a fool while you're losing points at the same time and the other guy is just gaining points. So I'll just say the style that I'll prefer is the Cuban and Mexican style
Wow.
because Cubans, when they're moving, they throw. When they're throwing, they move. In Mexicans, when they're moving forward, they're protecting themselves while they're throwing it also. So I'll say Cuban and Mexican style mixed with a little bit of South African style also.
You are a true warrior. And how excited are you for your professional debut?
I'm very excited. It's a thing of it's now a year without stepping into the ring, so the professional debut on its own is a big milestone for me. It's just me getting myself closer to my dream of becoming a world champion and closer to be number one pound for pound in the world, regardless of whatsoever, what do you call this, whatsoever circumstances or whatsoever obstacles are going to come in my way. One day, I am looking forward on carrying all those five major belts in boxing around my waist and becoming a multi-division world champion.
And first professional fight. Many amateur dream about turning professional. The professional ranks offer new opportunities, bigger stages, and different challenges. It's a major transition. What made you decide that now is the right time to turn professional? Right time.
I was sitting down and then I'm like, okay, one, yeah, amateurs is a very good thing, like to gain experience and everything. But I can say also at the same time, I need that exposure. I have a little bit of exposure for myself, but not so many people will look forward in coming to see you perform in the amateurs because they know it's a three-rounder fight, and sometimes amateurs has some robberies, and it's not that major as like the professionals. I'll consider like maybe it was when it came to a stage where I realized I can say I was growing older and there is a lot of things that can be going on in my life. So I'd rather make a mark for myself that people are gonna end up talking about in the years to come, then build a future and reputation for myself so that people can be like, yeah, at some point, Keith was a professional boxer. Keith was a professional fighter, what it calls a world champion and everything, national boxer in whatsoever different directions. And I believe that to become a world champion doesn't require someone to go to the championships and all those things. It just requires the right mindset and the right team by your side.
World champion, undisputed champion. What is your ultimate goal in boxing? Maybe
Uh, my
undisputed.
ul- my ultimate goal in boxing, I can say, is to make a name for myself, you know, so that in whatsoever the outcome may become in boxing, uh, I have a name for myself. I have something that I left behind for my loved ones, my mom, my siblings, and with that being said, everyone dreams to be famous. Some take the wrong route to be famous. Some take the right route to fame. Then some take the disciplined route to fame. And that's the one that I'm taking, the discipline and humble route to fame. I don't know how many years, and I don't care how many years it's going to take me for people to know me. But at the end of the day and at the end of the time, they are going to know who Keith Sithole is.
You are the future world champion. I'm rooting for you. Tell me please about your boxing coach.
My boxing coach is quite a funny guy, let me not lie. I have two, actually. There is Coach Buti Lawrence, and then there is Coach Lucky Mkwena. Coach Buti,
Continue, my friend. Tell me please
yeah,
about your first coach.
Coach Buti is an old school coach. You know, he is, what can I say, good coaching skills. He's been there in the game for a while and he knows his stuff. He has produced a lot of good boxers that are in the national team. And half of everybody here in South Africa, in Gauteng, knows Coach Buti and they respect him for his skills. And even professional boxers go to him for a few touch ups and everything. And yeah, I respect my coach and I love him so much. I respect having him to teach me boxing. And the second coach is a new school coach. He adapts like to a fighter's style. He doesn't want to change your style. He just wants to improve it from what you have. But his type of style also that I like that he has put into my boxing is the angling and the leg movement because boxing is not about punching. Boxing is about moving your legs, if you have strong legs, if you can avoid punches with just your legs, because most fighters can't use their upper body. So the only thing that can help fighters if you can't use your upper body is keep your legs busy. If you can't use your legs, keep your upper body busy. Maybe I can say, as I can put Vasily Lomachenko is one of my biggest examples when it comes to leg movement is Lomachenko and Bam Rodriguez. And then when it comes to upper body movement, I can put Canelo. Uh, IQ wise, I can give it to Crawford and Shakur Stevenson. But and also my second coach, he possesses all those things. He studies what type of a boxer you are, and then he doesn't change your style. He just recreates and adds up to your style, and then it just I can say he modifies it to another level, not to a point where your style is boring and then you do not like entertain people in the ring because boxing is more of an entertainment sport, even if it's like more of a business these days. So your style should be that. It makes my style be like that style where when everyone is watching, even the promoters and other coaches, they will love to envy me and be like, yeah, I just wanna sign this boy. Even the sponsors, like, I just wanna have a good thing with this boy because this boy, I like his style. I like the way he moves. I like the way he boxes and everything. So that's all I can say about my second coach. He's a great coach, new school coach. So I have old school and new school. So I mix the whole thing together so that when my opponents come in and want to fight me, they do not know what type of kid they're gonna expect. Is it they're gonna see the old school kid or the new school kid? So yeah, it's a great mix up for my boxing.
Vasily Lomachenko, he is my countryman. What do you think about Loma's return and about his possible fight against Gervonta Davis?
One thing that I can say about Loma's return, I can say welcome back to the Matrix, people. Because one thing that I know, he's untouchable with his movement. Um, with his feet movement and angling, he's very untouchable, and nobody can, not even Gervonta himself. Gervonta is an explosive fighter. He's a very aggressive fighter. He's an IQ thinker, power fighter, and everything. But when it comes to him fighting Loma, I don't think he can like stand up to Loma's IQ. I look up to Gervonta, but at this point, I think Lomachenko is just taking that fight by far because you can't beat what you can't see. And Loma moves, so if you can't see his angles, you can't beat him. If you can't see how he moves, which means you can't throw a thing unless you have a way to tie him down and then see where you tearing down is gonna take you. But as far as I can see, nobody has gotten to a point where they tied Lomachenko down apart from Teofimo Lopez. But um, yeah, at this point, Vasily Lomachenko and what do you call this? Gervonta Davis, I'll just go with Lomachenko on this fight.
Gervonta Davis has been waiting for Lomachenko to grow old for 10 years. I think when Lomachenko is 30 years old, Gervonta will agree to fight.
Yeah, that's the sad part about boxing. We dug someone till we let age tire them out. Because one thing that we all know as fighters, you can't tire someone out with throwing punches if they have a precision of winning. But if you let age tire them out to a point where the knees can't support the legs no more as much as they were doing it when they were young, which means you have a due advantage of winning. So I can give you best example. It's who's this? Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Floyd Mayweather waited for Manny Pacquiao to age a little bit so that he can fight him, and then when he fought him, he knew that this Manny Pacquiao, the legs a little bit won't be there. So, because Floyd is a stand-up fighter, he doesn't have any leg movement and anything. He just has the Philly shell and the step back pull and everything. But southpaws are mostly angled fighters, so he had to take that into his advantage and get who's this to reach his 30s or something, to get Pacquiao to reach his 30s so that he can fight Pacquiao in his 30s, knowing that the legs won't be supportive no more as much. So I think that may be the same type of strategy that Gervonta Davis is trying to use on who's this on Loma. But let's see when the fight happens, what will happen out, what will come out.
By the way, will you ever wait for someone to grow old?
Not really. I feel like fighting someone when they're out of their prime is pointless because we already know who or where their fight or who the fight is going to. While I'm in my prime on my own, if the records make out and if the managers have it on, why not make the fight at the same time? Because we all know, like, I believe in myself. Me fighting someone when they're old, that means I do not believe in myself that I'm gonna win as that fighter in my prime and while that guy is in his prime. So even if regardless if I go there and fight him while he's in his prime, regardless of win or lose, I still learn something from that loss. I still learn something from that victory. There is no wins and losses or wins and lessons in boxing. There's lessons upon lessons. Even if you lose, you have to go home and check, okay, what made me lose? Even if you win, you have to go home and check, okay, what made me win? Why did I win in the 12th round only? Why did I not make this fight finish in the second round? And then that's gonna make you think, that's gonna make you a better fighter than most people could ever think you could have been or anything at this point.
You are a real warrior. I respect you. You will fight the tops in their peak form, in their prime. Example from UFC. How Justin Gage beat Topuria. Ilya Topuria is now in prime.
Mm, Justin, I didn't quite hear you nicely. You said Justin Gage.
Yes, Justin Gage.
Um, I think there might be a possibility of him winning or beating him. But when I look at it so far, nah. But as I said, when a person is in their prime, which means the spirit of fighting and level of boxing IQ is kind of hot, and everybody's just looking at them as the next face of boxing. It's more like Bam and Inoue, best example in boxing. If that fight has to happen, they're both in their prime at this point, and everybody is looking forward and seeing that fight, and everybody looks up to Bam, while everybody looks up to Inoue, and styles make fights, and when styles make fights, which means we're looking forward and seeing who is going to come out on top between the two. If either Inoue, if either Bam, but Bam is a technical fighter, he knows how to break a guy down. Inoue is the same thing, so which means it's a great matchup for everybody. And we slightly do not know who can or who will win that fight between the two.
Jesse Bam 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 Rodriguez versus Naoya Inoue. In your opinion, who will win?
Um, I'll say if the fight had to go to points, it might be a draw. But when I also look at it with Inoue's past performance, Bam can win the fight. Bam can win the fight because Bam is a highly IQ fighter. We should just give him his respect. He has IQ on top of everyone. There is Usyk. And then when it comes to IQ, there's Usyk. There is Terence Crawford. There is Shakur Stevenson. And then there's Bam Rodriguez. Those are the four that I have like the toppest IQ in boxing. And with Bam's last performance this past Saturday, yeah, I'll say Bam will win it because yeah, I'll say he will win it. He breaks you down mentally. He's like Usyk, I can say. He's like Usyk and Crawford. They break you down mentally before they reach to the physical part where they get to start hurting you. So you already lose the fight before you even step into the ring with them.
Naoya Inoue versus Jesse Bam Rodriguez. It's a very box office fight. Many titles are at stake. Millions of dollars at stake. Maybe there will be a trilogy.
Maybe yeah, a rematch, and it'll be. I think it'll be like Beterbiev and Bivol fight, whether it was the first one and then the second one, and then now the people just want the third one to just settle the score. I think it will be that type of fight if the fight had to happen. We'll be looking at that fight. So yeah, I think for the first fight, Bam is gonna take it by far.
Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. Who are you rooting for?
Personally, I go with people that do Adidas. So I'm rooting for Better Beef to come out on top because I I like I like his form in boxing, and he's the only boxer that has won so far as of having 20 knockout victories consecutively, and in a record of like 20 wins, all coming by way of knockout. People got the respect when he fought him, and then he took him to points. Then the second fight didn't go as expected. We're all hoping for that Beterbiev was going to win, but it went to Bivol. So I'll say, yeah, Beterbiev in the third rematch. He's now in a state to show people that he has to be the face of boxing, even though he's growing old.
Dmitry Bivol waited for Beterbiev to grow old. How Gervonta Davis waits for Lomachenko to grow old.
Yes. So, not really, because when you look at who's this? Beterbiev's story, he entered the professional ranks when he was already old. He waited for the Olympics and everything. So that's what most fighters out here are trying to do. And one thing that they forget upon themselves, you can't rewrite history second time, and you can never be that fighter because that guy had his own dream and everything and ambition. Everybody's different. You can't force to go to the Olympics if the things doesn't do. So I think um Bivol didn't wait. When the opportunity came, he took it because the opportunity came. But if it was because I can say it's a thing of Bud Ennis and Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford could never fight Bud Ennis because Bud Ennis never had a belt named after him. I think also Dimitri Bivol was waiting for um Peter BF to get like a certain amount of belts and then they challenge each other.
Absolutely. You are right. You think very well. I like it. Turning professional often requires changes in mindset and preparation. Longer fights and different strategies can create new challenges. Adaptation becomes important. What has been the biggest adjustment while preparing for the professional ranks?
Mm, I can say the way I've been disciplined and maintaining myself the whole um, few months for the past few months, and the way I've been also training, and the type of training that I've been getting, and the type of sparring that I've also been getting from different guys up my weight. So maybe I can get used to the high volume punches that I might get in the professional ranks, as I can say. But that can, yeah, I think that is all. I think.
Who has been the toughest opponent in your career?
Mm, I can say the toughest person that I fought was a guy named Marcus, and that was like last year. I fought a boy named Marcus. He was a southpaw, and he was the first ever guy to ever give me a standing 8 count because he caught me by the ropes, off guard. He caught me with a cross hook, and I saw this. I just saw stars. My brain and my eyes were kind of rolling for a moment because that was the most heaviest punch I'd ever taken in boxing, and it came with power and force. And yeah, I felt like it was over. It was almost over, but I can say that's why I believed in the fact of saying, yeah, I got saved by the bell. Because if it wasn't for the bell and the 10 seconds that was left, yeah, the fight could have ended. Because yeah, I was hurt. I was severely hurt, and the guy has my respect for that fight. After that fight, I perfectly respect him because he earned my respect. Um, even though I came out on top after the fight, but yeah, that on that day he was the better fighter than me, more than I could be the better fighter.
Confidence is extremely important in combat sports. Fighters need to believe in themselves even when facing difficult challenges. Self-belief often makes a difference. What gives you the most confidence before a fight?
What makes me feel the most confidence before a fight? Before a fight, I can say it's the belief of saying I know I'm gonna win. Not to boast about it in whatsoever way, but it's just a belief that I carry around myself. I know I'm gonna win. I have the right team. I have the right coaches with me, and I just have the right people to take me a step further into my victory. So I know I'm gonna win, and what do you call this? It's a way of, yeah, that's a way of how I boost my confidence. I just every time when I'm preparing, or at least I'm warming up, just telling myself the winner of the fight is me. The winner of the fight is me. The winner of the fight. When I'm fighting, I just think the same thing. The winner of the fight, even though they're announcing the results, the winner of the fight is me. So I already have it within me that I am gonna win, and I also trust the way I train and my hard work that I put. So which means, yeah, that's a guaranteed victory before I even step into the ring.
Training camps require dedication and discipline. The work done behind the scenes is what creates success on fight night. Fans rarely see that side of the sport. What is the toughest part of your training camp?
The toughest part I can say is running. I don't like running as much, but yeah, that's my running and eating less so I can cut weight. Those are my two toughest parts when it comes to my boxing and training camp. That's what I can say. But amongst everything, yeah, the camp goes good, and uh, um, I expect myself to. I expect myself to, win the fights, and then I come out with clear victory, and we just see where it takes us from there. But yeah, my hardest thing is cutting weight, not running and eating less. I'm a person that loves eating, so food, when I just see food, just my favorite meal, and the most boring thing is sometimes when I'm preparing, there are pro tournaments that I go watch, and then all of a sudden I have to see my friends that buying my favorite food, but I can't eat those foods because I'm preparing for a fight. So yeah.
Is it hard for you to gain weight? How many kilograms do you lose?
Mm, I walk around 70. I'm gonna be fighting at 57, so I have to lose 13 kilograms. At the moment, I'm at 66, 66, 65 days. Those are the two weights that I'm at. So I have a perfect seven, I think 7 kilograms to go. Perfect seven.
Wow.
Yes.
Maybe it's very difficult.
Not really. Not really. I think maybe one thing that's gonna kill me is the rehydration after the fight more than the weight cut because it's my first time cutting and I don't know how many like kilos I have to get after the fight or how I should rehydrate. But as time goes, I will just get used to it and then know my rehydration habits and everything.
Who had the biggest impact on your boxing journey so far?
Mm, there were two people that had the biggest impact on my boxing journey. It was Dumisa. That was my first amateur coach. He was also a boxer. He taught me how to think, and I sort of say he kind of built uh, the technical and moving kit. And then there was Coach Lucky. He built and developed the whole movement into my boxing. Those were the two that had the biggest impact in my boxing. And the other person is my mom also.
Also, I interviewed Jason Dundar. Tell me please about your fight versus Jason.
That was a good fight. We fought two times. We fought the first time in um what do you call this? We fought the first time. That's when Moses gave me the advice that no one believes in you, no one thinks that you're gonna win. So you know what? Prove them wrong. Don't prove them wrong. Don't try to prove them wrong. Try to prove yourself wrong because self doubt was also kind of getting to me. I was thinking maybe I can, maybe I cannot do it. And then the second fight, it was a short notice. I had to cut weight in under 2 weeks, and when I got there, it was a boxing dying fight. When I got there, I was drained. I had not eaten. My body was super exhausted. But when I got there, when it was now before me and him fought, they saved food. So I had to look at everyone, my teammates eating while I'm just waiting for the right time for me to fight and then I go eat. And yeah. Well, but Jason, he's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. He's a disciplined boy. And when I see it, he is going to make it fine boxing. He's going to make it fine boxing. And the only thing that I can say at the moment is maybe if I were to fight him again, is in the professionals when me and him are gonna be hopefully me and him are gonna be in the same weight so we can fight in the professionals again. But I feel like that would be kind of like the money fight and also a good fight to give to people a trilogy but in a professional version.
By the way, did you like the fight versus Jason Dunbar?
Yeah, I did. I did like the fight because it it brought the confidence in me that regardless of the situation and regardless of the record, I can still make it and I can still do it. Because with the second rematch that we had, he was coming from fighting a guy that I fought, who was my last loss to. He was coming from fighting that guy, and then when I got to see that he came out victorious, and I sort of had some doubts in myself, thinking maybe in this rematch he's also gonna come out victorious. But I just told myself, you know, at last time I underestimated the other guy that I fought. So the only thing that I can do at the moment now is not to underestimate Jason and train more. And that's what I did. I trained more and fought more, trained more, sparred more, and I was fully dedicated for the rematch. And then when I got there, I was more like the underdog in the fight. You know, a kid who was unknown trying to make a name for himself in the amateurs, and I did make a name for myself. And with that fight, um, I'm kind of happy that those fights happened because if that fight didn't happen with Jason for the first time, I think I would have still have self doubt in myself.
My friend, who knows? Maybe we will see your fight versus Jason on Pro.
And yeah, this I'm also praying that maybe that fight can happen, you know, because it was a very good experience to do with him, and I love to redo it. But me and the dude, we kind of like close, we kind of like friends at the moment. But why not? If the opportunity comes, I'm happy to grab it. I don't know about his side.
South Africa has produced many talented fighters over the years. Young boxers often draw inspiration from athletes who come before them. Which South African boxer inspires you the most?
Uh, South African boxer that inspires me is Katlego Cat. We call him Black Cat. He's a very skilled and high level boxer. He knows how to move, and um, he has top skills. I can say, even though I said it the first time, he has top skills in everything, and I respect him for like him. And he's an All African champ at the moment, so yeah, why not? He inspires me. He kind of pushes me to keep on training and keep on being who I am because me and him are in the same stable. We train with the same coach. So he's my biggest inspiration when it comes to boxing in South Africa and boxing in general. That's all I can say about the guy.
I interviewed Phulemela Kafu. You mentioned Jesse Bam Rodriguez. A question arises. What do you think about the fight between Phulemela Kafu and Jesse Bam Rodriguez? In your opinion, what was not enough to win?
I feel like his strategy was good. Let me not lie, because one thing that we know of Bam is he knows how to overcome people when they're in the middle of the ring. So Kafu's strategy against Bam being in the ropes was good, but I feel like if he threw more and he didn't make Bam end up finding a capital into his mistakes, if he threw more and get to play around the center a little bit, just to make Bam comfortable, think that Bam is gonna overcome. Because I was looking forward on seeing that fight go the distance and Gafu coming out with a victory. But if only he threw more while he was on the ropes and he and moving around the ring a lot, that was a good strategy though. But I just would have loved it if he threw more punches and became more dominant, like assert his dominance in the ring, and then people will see like, okay, yes, um, this guy has to be acknowledged. He has to get his respect, but he got his respect out of Bam after that fight because Bam was like amongst all the fighters that he fought so far, Chafu was his hardest fighter and his hardest opponent. So if only he threw more and the outcome was gonna be another thing. But we never know what truly happens to a fighter when they step in there. So I can't talk for him. He only knows what was going through the head at the time, and we don't know. We just spectators. We're just people watching from the outside. We're just people who come up with opinions. We are those what if people. But those people that say, what if he threw? What if he boxed? What if he did this? It was going to be a way much better outcome than what he did. But we do not know what was going through his head. We do not know what, since it's June, it's men's mental health month. We do not know what was going through him mentally. So in that fight, um, that is my opinion, but he did what he did and took the fight 10 rounds. And I'm happy for that, no lie. And I acknowledge the fact that he fought a pound for pound great. So, yeah,
Where do you see yourself in 3 years from now?
can't say that's a tricky question. That's a question that I've been waiting for, actually. In 3 years from now, I see myself dominating in the professional ranks. I see myself in the top 20 of pound for pound. I see myself holding three straps of in the featherweight division, and I see myself overcoming all the odds that I had. So, in conclusion, I can say I see myself as a world champion in 3 years to come. And mark my words, 3 years to come, I will make it to the top.
Oh, maybe. Is there any professional boxer you would love to face one day?
Mm, nah, not really. Because me calling out names, that means I'm underneath those people, even though I am at the moment underneath those people. Um, but I don't, I wouldn't value myself if I had to call out people who are already there. Let's just say whosoever will come at the moment, they just a rock in my path that I just have to remove and continue my way to the top. So I don't look forward in fighting any professional fighter. But whoever comes, they will come and will dominate, will make it to the top. They'll just be my stepping stone to the top at that time, and nothing more, nothing less. I don't see myself calling out any fighter in the near future. I don't see myself having debates with fighters as of if they want to fight or not. I mean, if you want to fight me, come fight me. But I don't see myself calling you out as a fighter to say, I want to fight you, because that would be me putting myself underneath you. If I'm above you, and in which I will be above you or above your level, you can come call me. But I'm not a fighter that's going to be out here looking for clout or anything, because calling out somebody is me looking for a way to put myself first and make myself famous. That whole thing won't exist to me. Those wanna come fight me, they will come fight me. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm not looking forward in calling out any fighter. And if they're gonna be watching this is a message for you all featherweights out here. There's I'm not gonna look forward in calling you guys out. If you guys want the fight, contact my manager, my coaches, and my team to make the fight happen. I don't do call outs. I'm gonna be the face of boxing one day, so what's the need of calling people out?
I want to see your fight versus Rafael Espinosa. You will defeat Espinosa.
Um, I don't really know the dude, but since you mentioned the name, I will go look up to him. You said the name is Raphael. I'll go look up to him and see if he matches up to my standards. But why not? If the fight has to happen, has to happen. If the fight has to happen, the fight will happen, and I'll be more than happy to fight. Why not?
Thank you so much for this incredible interview. I enjoyed the interview. I wasn't bored, and our interview will not be bored either. It was great. An incredible interview. Thank you so much for your time. And what message would you like to send to the fans before your professional debut? Finally,
Uh,
tell me please about your professional debut.
the only message that I would like people to know is, um, hi guys, hi. The name is Kid Smoke. Keep it down on your label because that's the name that you'll be seeing from August till I decide to retire. And in whatsoever cover that you're gonna be putting in boxing, I'm gonna become the face of boxing, and I'll be looking forward to see most of my fans coming to watch my fights. So enjoy those guys that you're watching at the moment before I come through. Because when I come through, I'm coming to dominate. I'm not coming for any child's play whatsoever. I just come to dominate and make my way out with all possible victories. Thank you for your time, and it was a pleasure being interviewed by you.
You will win. I wish you victory. This is your time. The future is yours. My friend, you deserve it.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.